without much ado, I'm going to introduce somebody who has a title, funnily enough, and maybe you should find some of these in your environment, of Chief Energy Officer. He also considers himself a soul surgeon. He's in charge of soul surgery. So I'm really excited to introduce to you guys this morning Dovale.
Wow, good morning. Oh, come on. Good morning.
Good morning.
Is there anybody alive on this side? Good morning, guys. Good morning. There we go. We've got some live here. Thank you very much, Tommy. I got worried about the energy part of the game. So to start with, I have a lovely book I bought because I know you guys are under stress. Big time at work, eh? You got big stress? Who wants it? This will transform your stress in your life. Who wants it?
Tony can ask me, David. Yes, ask me, David.
You want to get it? Please put a round of applause together for this. Here's my question. Why don't you get out of your chair?
I'm stuck in the middle. I thought
Listen to the excuses. Why you're right here. Why don't you get out of your chair?
Be sharp.
Excuses. Why didn't you guys get out of your chair? I'm serious. This is a very serious question. Why didn't you get out of your chairs? Out of politeness. We're scared of what other people are going to say. Here's the problem. You will never reach your dreams, your goals, and die a happy soul if you're going to allow these rules that are in your head to control you. Because what stopped you? Fear. Fear of what? No, something did. You were right here. I was giving away a 300 Rand gift. You didn't move. I've seen people from the back of the room jump over people and come and get it. He was reasonably, he was right at the back of the room. He angled to come along, he didn't even run. So how do we get you to shift your mindset from slow to go? People always say, so how do we know you're any good? So I thought I've got to show you up front some of the kind of results we can deliver. So one of our clients, Mr. Leon, came and said he wants to raise his game up, wants to get onto the next level of performance. I took my team away, we brainstormed, had some wine, had some snacks, watched the game as the sun set over the water, and here's the solution that we gave him. So that is my goal, is to raise up your game, to raise your vibration, to change your mindset. So I'm going to rattle your cage, press your buttons, I'm going to tell you some stories and give you some ideas of actionable stuff you can apply. You good with that?
Yeah.
Hello, you good with that?
Yeah.
Lock and load. These are some of the challenges in doing the research that most call centers have. How many of these challenges relate to technology that you can buy? None. Not one. And so your advantage, your competitive advantage, the way you become super successful is not about what you've got, what you can buy from suppliers. It's how you use one thing, the mindsets of the people in your organization. So what do you want? More love or more fear in your workplace? Did you notice the guys didn't say much? What do you want? More love or more fear? What do your staff want? We think we want. Who's interested in being wealthy? See, there's your problem. There is your problem. You're only interested, you're not committed. You are only interested and you will, until the mountain gets a little too hard and the weather gets a little cold, then you'll give up and you'll do something else. Most people go to their death not having achieved anything with their life, of any real lasting value that makes their soul happy. I've been blessed. My best friend's father died in my arms, and I've just got my brother-in-law right now, the second, is in Olivedale Clinic with a stroke. He's risk manager for a large accounting, auditing firm, he earns millions. And if you're going to talk to him today, he's at 50. He's got no wife, he's got no love, got lots of money, can't speak at all. What's important in the world for you? Do you bring love to your workplace? When you wake up in the morning, you say, good morning, God. Oh, good God, it's morning. You know, for me, everybody brings happiness, hey? Some are coming into the room, some are leaving the room. Which are you? That's what you think. Have you asked your staff that? Have you asked your customers that? So what is your business about? You've come here for this 2 days, you spend time and money. What is your organizational goal, mission, mandate, vision, business truly about? It's about the money. Isn't that sad that the world is driven by money? And money typically for a small group of people who are so wealthy they couldn't spend it in 10 lifetimes. I was doing some work with another large organization, and the guy said, we have to improve performance, and he was shouting at the staff, he was calling them 4-letter words, you lost this amount, you lost that amount, just for the shareholders. And I went home and I wrote an article to say, slavery is alive and well. And I actually changed my presentation. I took out a picture. Have you seen those Bible bears in China? They catch these huge bears, they put them in a cage that's just the size of their body. And then they get them, they put a tube into their gallbladder, and they pull bile out because they use it for medicinal purposes. Those bears can't move. Aren't some of your call centers like that? You can't go to the toilet at this time, you have to do here, you've got 95%. That's what I've seen at the 2 or 3 call centers that I've been to. The rules are so tight, you're like a bile bear. Is that what life is about? I mean, if you had a heart, if you could change the way we did things, would you change that? The lady yesterday morning said a very important thing. Unless you wake up and shake up and make sure that the call center is an important part of the organization, automation will be driven because it's cheaper. When I do my team building and leadership development, I often meet with the HR people and I say to them, is HR at the table or on the table? Do you understand the difference? If you're on the table, they're going to discuss and give you budgets and control you. If you're at the table, you have meaningful input and control. What I want you to think about is that the new customer experience is the new marketing. I've just come back from overseas. I was speaking in London in America, and we went on an early morning journey. It was cold like this, like 3 degrees, windy, rainy, and myself and one of my friends went along, and we came across this cathedral. These guys were in the rain in the building. We came across this first guy, and he had a little pile of stones, and said, "Sir, what are you doing?" He said, "Can't you see? I'm building this stuff, man." Sorry. Went along a little bit further to the next guy and said, "Sir, what are you doing?" He had a slightly larger pile. He says, "Can't you see I'm building this building?" He went across to another guy. The rain's falling down. He's in the rain, but he's whistling away. He's got a huge pile. We said to him, "Sir, what are you doing?" He says, "Can't you see I'm building this beautiful cathedral for my people?" Which one are you? Which kind of environment, what kind of environment, work context have you made for your staff? Are they twitchy and bitchy and there because of the money? Or are they here because of a dream, of a passion, because of a cause? Because, finish the sentence, people will work for a living, but they'll die for a cause. But the cause can't be make the boss more money. And that is insane. And so I talk about 3 kinds of people. There are the leaders, the real, true leaders, the heroes that make a difference. They get you to bring your best. They up your game. They get you to love what you do and to do what you love. They build trust, they build connection, they build communication. So those are the leaders, and the problem is 75% of leaders aren't. And then there are the greeders. The guy on the bottom left is greed. It's just work harder, more money. Cut costs, do more with less. The accountant guys that run the team. Hey, the bean counters. Do you know the neural pathways that an accountant uses Neurons that fire together, wire together. They are very different to the human element, compassion and care, neural pathways. And research shows the higher up the ladder you go in an organization, the less care and compassion you have for people at the bottom. It is the nature of the way the brain works. And then there's my best are the bleeders. I was at a big travel company, and as I walked down the passage, I heard this guy, "You bloody stupid fool!" I'm like, and here's this woman crying, and the two other women cowering in the corner. That was his leadership style, screaming at his staff because they didn't do what he wanted or expected in the time or the manner. Who wants to work for a guy like that? People will leave fast. And so your challenge, if you look at your problem, is you think you deliver good service. They did research with companies who said, here's what we do. They then went to the customers and said, rate them. The customers said they deliver 10% of what they thought. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. You think you're doing great, but actually you're doing rather cack. So if you really want to think how good you are, give your staff an anonymous way to rate you and rank you. I apologize for the volume of text on the slide, but I normally don't do this anymore. But it's important because I need you to understand call centers are the future of marketing and of getting the business and keeping the business. It's 7 times more expensive to get a new client than keep that existing relationship. We talk about 12 people. People will tell 12 people when they're unhappy in the normal environment. Who's got Facebook pages? Who's got Twitter pages? Who's got LinkedIn pages? If you put out a message to say, I'm unhappy, how many thousand will you touch? If I include my mailing list, I'm at probably 250,000. And I've used it. I had a guy I paid money to who refused to give me back, he didn't perform. And I said, I'm giving you 15 minutes to come back and give me an acceptance that you'll pay my money back. Well, here's what I'm going to do. I gave him the document I'm going to send. I said, here's my Facebook, here's my LinkedIn with 9,000, here's my 215,000 mailing list. I will gladly tell the world about you. He capitulated and gave me my money. We live in a world right now where one can tell 1,000 like that. We went to a restaurant the other day and we waited 45 minutes for no service. And so we went on to Facebook. Within less than 3 minutes, 9 other people said, we went there, but we will never go there again. Now the problem, what people like the politicians don't understand and the business don't understand, the internet is like a tattoo. You can go at any time and type corruption for the next 100 years. That's going to be available in the consciousness. Whether it's your business, and I have a little website I'll show you about it. So, but what I wanted to show you, and I'm happy to make this presentation available to you, your call center and service quality has huge impact. You need to step away and take some of marketing's power and be at the table, not on the table. So if you're going to be smart as managers, as leaders in what you do, you've got to get stuff like this and you've got to show them why service excellence and customer experience is the new marketing. It is the new marketing in a world of instant gratification. Who's happy to wait nowadays? You go into Woolies and you buy instant food, hey? Into a microwave. The fact that the microwave kills your food doesn't matter. You're eating cardboard. We want instant. We want gratification. Who knows about ZMOT? Anybody heard of ZMOT? The zero moment of truth. Loyalty doesn't count anymore. Before I buy something, I might go to 15 or 20 sites and check out reviews, assessments, cheapest prices. Who else uses the web to check availability, prices? Check, guys, 95% of us do. Do you know that we don't? I don't. And you can choose. Do you trust marketing and advertising? They're spending billions. I ran a radio station. I ran pop broadcasting's 5 channels. Billions. I had a community station. Millions. When you watch TV, you go online and you check. I've had it in a talk. We're busy talking. The guy goes online to check the statistics that I'm quoting. We live in a world where we don't have the protection of the BS we used to have. And so marketing, truly for me, has zero value. Because you can market and promise. The proof of the pudding is when you arrive at the door and you phone the call center. I did work with Macro, and I worked with their call center, and it was very evident that money was the issue. We're not prepared to pay. We went into the room, it was cold. Why don't you have stuff on the wall? No, we've just painted the wall. The director doesn't want it. But I bought something from Macro and I phoned in. Now when you buy something and it's broken and you've driven 45 minutes each way, how happy are you on a scale of 0 to 10? You're not. So the poor guy on the other side of the line got blasted because he had no control, he had no power. At the point where I'm most vulnerable to being impressed or disappointed, they put their cheapest resource, their least educated resource, their least qualified resource. How stupid is that? In less than 3 minutes, their brand is destroyed. Think about it. How long does it take for you to get to the point of being impressed to unimpressed? I've been trying to get money back from MTN. I phoned their call center 4 or 5 times. I've sent them 27 emails. I went to their Facebook. I said, are you guys thugs, thieves and crooks? Give me my money. They still haven't come back to me. You never know. This is the website I found on hold with. Now this is the problem. This is the emperor has no clothes. This is a live real-time site where people go online and they say, I've been holding on for 45 minutes for BS MTN, BS ABC or whoever you're holding on for, Discovery. You know, my name isn't Dovale, it's Bobble. Because you phone in and you speak to somebody. Hi, hello. I'd like to get this. No. Spell your name. D. B. No. D. Dog. Death. B. Damn. No. D. You know, by the time I've got my name out, I'm chewing my screen. And it's not the fault of the guy on the call, because some other fool put him there. And it's one of your managers. Do not put a poor soul in front of a gorilla that's pissed off. So think about matching the energy and the mindset. Also, whoever writes your sales scripts, please fire them. They're using 100-year-old scripts. Hi, is that Mr. Dovale? I answer the phone. Hi, Tony Dovale. Hi, is that Mr. Dovale? Yes, you fool, if you listened, you would have heard. Hi, Mr. Dovale, because he's been told to use the customer's name as often as possible. Hi, Mr. Dovale, we're talking to people like you, Mr. Dovale. Would you like to buy it today, Mr. Dovale? And I'm saying, guys, get off your script. Because in less than 20 seconds, I'm so pissed off. And I'm going to rant. And also, please teach them to have manners. I'm in the middle of something and the phone goes. So, because I'm a business owner and I'm expecting a possible lead, for me a lead is 20 to 100,000 rand, I answer, hi, Tony Dovale. Hi, Mr. Dovale, we want to sell you that. I'm saying, whoa! Just maybe have the manners to ask, is it okay to speak to you? 95% of them don't. They launch into their script because they're scared as hell that I'm going to stop them. Guys, you've got to change the way the world works. Now, on hold, the moment you're a cost center and you're using your people at a 95% level, think about your own business, you. How many of you, not in a desk position where they monitor your time by the second, are 95% productive? Anybody? Show me. Live? Hands? 100%. In an 8-hour day. In an 8-hour day, you deliver 8 hours of focused effort. Never. Maybe 30 to 40%, maybe. So how do we put these people into like an 85 to 95%? You can't go to the toilet, you've got to take this. And then the poor person, they've been shouted at by some oak who's frustrated as hell because it's a 17th call. Now they put the phone down, they are reeling from the energetic impact, and they've got to pick up another call and smile. Hi, welcome to Cell C. It's like somebody's got to have this heart and understand there's an energetic impact. You've got to give people a break. So that lady said it, being on a call center, taking calls is hard work. Before anybody goes through up into the executive levels of a call center, you should spend a week on the phones. At Zappos, they spend 2 weeks. Whether you're God, or whether you're the attorney or the accountant, you spend 2 weeks on the phone, you know what it's like to be there. So how do we improve performance? Because at the end of the day, we need increased performance. There are 5 areas in high-performance organizations. This is the work of Professor Dovale that I work with. Good quality management and leadership is vital. The environment, the context, the culture controls 50% of your performance. The quality of your workforce. Candy is constant and never-ending improvement, creating ways where it's constant and never-ending enhancement and improvement and tweaking and tuning. An open culture, it's hiding behind my little ref counter, an open, transparent, inclusive culture. I found research that says the agents don't feel heard, they don't trust management, they don't feel valued or appreciated. They feel like they are cannon fodder. And that's what I see. I heard numbers yesterday, 10 to 15% monthly turnover. I mean, what does that cost? Just in money, in soul and energy. So I'm just going to talk about the management quality for a moment. Because if you're a leader and a manager, these are the mistakes that you make. Proper feedback, proper praise. And we'll talk about mindsets, growth and fixed mindsets. Trust. Who's got trust issues in their organization? So let's have a look. Some of you are lying. Every team building I do, when I do the research, trust is an issue. Integrity, wrong leadership styles. Coaching, no coaching, this dictatorial old dinosaur style command and control. You can't live with the... Who's got young, the new generation, the millennial generations, the Ys, hey? Why? The indigo kids and the crystal kids are very, very different. My era, you could say, do the job when you do it. The kids today are very, very different, so you've got to manage them differently. How many people have people knocking their door down to come and work in their space? Do you? Are your people inspired? Will they go to the ends of the earth for you? Or are you trying to push a wet piece of string uphill? This is the work of David Meister showing what's important in an organization, in a service environment. Relationships, fairness, coaching. Those are the things you get the best return on your time and your effort. Getting the best out of people. Think about this. Stephen, my brother-in-law, is lying there. He actually... I study near-death experiences. You know what NDE, when you die and you go down the tunnel of light, you meet Jesus or your avatar or the angels, whatever. Now, I've read the books. He told us the story in his broken thing that he went there and he met his parents and the angels and they said, it's not your time, you have to come back. So I have first-hand experience. Here's what happens when you go down the tunnel of light. Number one, you meet your avatar or Jesus or your religious or spiritual connection. Question number one, how much love did you bring whilst you were dancing in this game called life? How much love? Number two, how much wisdom did you gain? And number three, are you ready to receive back, not as a punishment, but as a wake-up call, what you perpetrated on others? It's called karma. It'll come back at you, some way, sometime. So do you live lightly? Do you encourage and engage and uplift people? Are you trustworthy? Are you trusting? Do you build love and connection? Both my folks died with nothing. At the age of 62 and 66, they were poverty-stricken. We funded their last 4 years of their life. 80% of people will eat dog food in their life before they die. When I was a Boy Scout, we used to take tinned food, baked beans and bully beef to the old ladies in Hillbrow when it was still an old white suburb. And you used to see the ladies there eating half a can of tuna for breakfast and half a can of, not tuna, cat food for breakfast or for dinner. Life's a hard game. Life's a challenging game. And business needs to be about more than just profit, profit, profit. It's about people and building places where people can grow and become more. And so if you're going to be a good leader, you need to know how to manage people and use this mindset. This is the work of David Rock, understanding exactly how the brain works if you want to get the best out of your people. The brain is an automated system. 90% of all people are reactionary and not consciously intentional, response able. And so if you remember SCARF, the moment you threaten somebody's status, the brain goes automatically into panic. The moment you take away any kind of certainty, job certainties. I listened yesterday, some people doing the same work, some earn lots, some earn little. Is that fair? Even animals know fairness. They've got monkeys in a cage, they feed the one and reward the one, they don't reward the other, they end up fighting. Fairness is an inherent hardwired process in our brain. Autonomy, some kind of control, some kind of ability to have control. You know, if you need to go to the loo, I have a 3-minute warning. One thing says, find a loo, find a loo. I've got 3 minutes. Doesn't matter what the wall says you can or can't go at 10:30. I've got to go when I've got to go. You know, that's just how my body is. Relatedness, we want to be connected, we want to belong, we want to be part of a tribe. We want to know that we are part of a group of people. We are simple souls, to love and be loved. Core human need. Everything else is static around that. Everything that drives us when you get down and take off all of the clothing and all of the rubbish and behind the mask, to love and be loved. Anybody heard of Zappos? Tell them, what's the one thing when you hear of Zappos, what comes to mind? Fun. Does your company have fun? These are the Zappos controlling values. They went from 0 to $1 billion in 10 years. That's B. They were sold to Amazon for 1.2 billion. They're a call center. They sell women's shoes. They're a website and a call center. People love working there. And there's nothing that says make shareholders rich. If you're only about money, you're evil. When you die, money has no meaning. Stephen, when he's lying in his hospital bed, money has no value. Yes, he's got medical aid and stuff, but I promise you when you die, you're not going to say, I wish I had more. This is what they decided. Tony Hsieh sold his first company because he didn't like the culture. He started to wake up and come to work saying, I don't actually want to be in this workspace. Culture is a vital, vital component of working in an organization. I'm going to squeeze the minute because I want to show you the video. We're just going to line up the video there. It's about a 3-minute video. Are you okay with that? Yeah. From the man who probably runs the most awesome call center on the planet. People fly around the world to go and see them. Do your staff do stuff so amazing that people will come to pay and see you? Or do you run a sweatshop that you're embarrassed to be in? Think about this. What can you do to change your call center while you're there? They might understand a little bit of how important and how vital and kind of level and pressure and challenges that you have there. The challenge that you have that I've seen in the call centers, let's just see with you guys. Who in the room has got an average stress level of 7 or above, typically? Nobody. 7 or above. Hands up high. I'll wait. Now that cascades down into the system. And unless you give the people the right mindset and right tools, people will burn out. Who's got burnout in their things? You've got fairly strong nutrition and burnout. And so these are the 6 human needs that we have that drive the people when they come to you. Yes, it's about money, but money's not a motivator. Money's just a hygiene factor. Your car doesn't love petrol, it needs it to go. You need money to pay the basics. But money doesn't motivate you. To a point it does. Money doesn't buy happiness. To a point it does, and then add another 2 zeros, it doesn't increase. But love and connection, certainty, some variety, significance, contribution and growth. One of the things that Zappos does is they don't have like a 5-year step 1 that you become an executive level person. They've got incremental, every few months you qualify and increase and grow so that people see that there's a progression as you start to go. In the work that I do in my background being a soul surgeon, there's one thing that I bring. because it's important in the world that we live in as it gets harder and more challenging. And I was dismayed to see how low the score was on the research yesterday. Is resilience. IQ is important, hey? IQ gets you on the field. If you don't have it, you shouldn't be on the field. EQ is important because you're hired for your IQ and fired for your EQ. Lack of EQ. But what does it help if you've got a good IQ and a good EQ and you get slapped down once and you stay down? Resilience is the most important skill of the 21st century. And so with the work that I do, I make people bulletproof, mentally, emotionally, and energetically. Because in a workplace where you are, when people are shouting and pressurizing you, you're doing outbound or you're getting inbound calls like a Discovery where I occasionally bend the phone and get them really hot. That's hard for them. Now they've got to go home. Home's stressful. Now we've got 75% divorce rates. There's just more months left at the end of the money. And life's a challenge for people at the bottom end of the pile. Eh? And so the goal is to give people the tools and the awareness and the psychological capital that they can do and have more resources to serve better, to bring more value to the world. I'll make that presentation available for you. But look at the bottom one, is meaning. How much meaning do your staff have? If we said to them, what is the most value that you get out of here beyond the money? What are they going to say? Nothing. I want to push the button. Isn't that disgusting? That we are in such a cold place that there's no meaning. You've got to wake up and you've got to say, I've got to go to this work because I have to. Slavery. I mean, it's an official form of slavery. And so if we're going to improve performance and enhance people, most people want increased results. Where's my little, you said I have a green thing. Now we want more results. And so we try and change the actions and we send them on some kind of skills training, and that's determined on what kind of abilities they have. I've found that if I go to the bottom, to the core of who you are, your identity as a being, as a soul, as a spiritual being, and I get rid of your static, your past baggage, your limiting belief systems, we can transform performance. We've taken companies from 200 million to 800 million, 30 million to 50 million, doubled sales in 4 months. With no sales, no skill set training, purely mindset and building bulletproof mindsets. One of the most important things is this resilience. How much control do they have? How much ownership? I was reading something where people were saying, but my staff never take ownership. It's not their problem, it's your problem. It's the way you're managing, the way you're structured, the way you're rewarding systems. How far does the static and issue reach into the person's life and for how long? And so this is the work of Carol Dweck. We've discovered that there are 2 extremes of mindset. So think about this. We go outside, we go downstairs, we go to there's a bank outside. We're going to draw some cash because you're going to pay me some money. And as you're in the bank, you get shot. Bah! Only you in the arm. Now we're going to take you to hospital and they take out the bullet and they stitch you up. Now we come back, it's the next day. How do you explain to your people? Are you lucky or are you unlucky? Who feels unlucky that you got shot? Who would say, I was unlucky, I was the only one that got shot? Fixed mindset, limited mindset. Who would say, I'm lucky? You want those in your team, because no matter what happens, they see things, they see the half full glass. Doesn't matter how bad the weather gets, they'll be positive, they'll be uplifting and supporting and bringing energy to your organization. 6% of a system controls a system. In biology, the organization is biological. 6% of a system energy controls a system. In 100 people, 6 will dictate and control the dynamic and the motivation and inspiration and kind of culture that you have in your system. So you need to find, when you're employing, make sure that you employ the right mindset people, because if you're going to employ a victim, you have a huge problem. Like Tony says, number 1 choice is culture fit. And so these are the difference in mindsets. If a person has a fixed mindset, they're defensive, they protect, because they've been told, wow, you are so smart. What happens when she's not so smart? How does she feel? Defensive. But if I say, you worked so hard, I'm so proud of you, you worked so hard, now we go to both of them and say, we're going to do a bigger challenge. Research shows that the person that was praised for being smart and clever and talented avoids risking not looking good. Whereas the person that you praised for, well, you worked so hard, you did good thinking, you worked together, you collaborated, the person that was praised for their process and their effort will take the next step up and look for greater challenges. So when you're praising your children, when you're praising yourself, here's the first war you've got to win. Ladies, when you look in the mirror, what do you say to yourself? Is it a kind, friendly, loving voice? Or you're like me, you fat, we need to lose 20 kilos. This is the first war you've got to win, is this negative voice inside your head. When I was in America, I was initiated, my initiated name is Fiery Tiger. And we talk about the story, this Indian warrior goes to the medicine man and he says, medicine man, you have to help me, I'm going to war, I'm going into business, into battle. But I've got this black, snarling, smelly, unfriendly wolf, negative voice on this shoulder. He said, I've got this beautiful, kind, loving, angelic voice on this shoulder. And he says, they fight the whole time. I have to know which one's going to win. And the wise man says, my son, the one that you feed the most. Which wolf do you feed? Which wolf do your staff feed? You see, attitude and mindset, having a growth-oriented mindset is the most important thing you can have. I was flying to Durban, and before I got on the plane, because of my biological system, I went to the loo. And as I walk into the loo there's a guy. Good morning, sir, welcome to my office. Like, what? A black dude in his little outfit. Like, sprightly, funky, spunky, welcome to my office. I thought, jeez. And I was about to go to the cubicle, he said, please hold on. And he wiped the seat and he fixed up the paper. He said, enjoy your stay. And he got me thinking. In a stinking place where men do stuff you don't want to know about. He's got to clean, yucky, cucky stuff. How does he have such a good attitude? How does he have such a good mindset? That in that space, he works there every day, and he didn't have huge tips. I gave him a $10 tip because he woke me up so that I could even have a better attitude and a better mindset. How do you build that into your staff? Can you imagine what he would be like in a call center? And even if a guy like me berated the heck out of him, he'd put it down and say, wow, that guy was amazing. Next. I'm certified internationally for science of happiness, coaching, consulting, and assessments. And we now know, we have academic level research. People are successful because they're happy, not happy because they're successful. The decision to be happy precedes success, achievement, and performance. In every dimension, you want more sex, more drugs, more rock and roll, more money, more pleasure, more everything. Choose, before you walk out of this room, to be happy and grateful. And to that end, please turn to a person on your left and your right and tell them one thing that you are grateful for right this second. You've got 30 seconds. Turn to the left, I'm grateful for this. Turn to the right, I'm grateful for this. Go. How was that? How do you feel? What did it cost you? Nothing. There are places where the boss walks in, he doesn't even say, hello, good morning. Make it a nice place to work. Be the one that brings the why, because if you have a big enough why, they'll find the how. Why is important, and that's your role as a manager or as a leader, is to build the why. Why is this important? Why are we doing this? Why do I want you to do it like this? Why do we need to find a better way? And it's got to be beyond money. It's got to be something that has meaningfulness for the people, for the individual, for the team, for the community, for a cause, beyond just the money. If you want to be more successful, listen, listen, listen. People feel unheard. All the research, the agents don't feel listened or valued. Are you trustworthy? Think about this. How good is your word? Who hasn't lied in the last 30 days? You lie. We all lie to some way or form. We promise to deliver, and then we don't. I'll be there at 7 o'clock, and you don't. We make promises, small ones, unconscious ones, and then we break our agreements. Be a coach. Don't tell people how to. Bring it out of them. Make it a great place, make it a safe place that you can make mistakes and learn and grow. Bring out the best in them. Communicate. In the absence of information, the brain assumes the worst. Listen to it. In the absence of information, the brain assumes the worst. The doctor didn't speak to my fiancée for 4 days about her brother. She crashed. She was crying. We actually changed the doctor. We had a whole head-on with the doctor because he wouldn't give us updated information daily. And practice what you preach. If you walk your talk, you'll be okay. But many people talk but don't do the walking of their talk. And show respect. Because they're lower doesn't mean they're less. They respect the human. This is important work from Professor Lasada. We can guarantee the success of a team and predict the success of a team or a relationship or an organization to a level of 97.7% accuracy purely on this. It takes 3 positives to neutralize 1 negative. It takes 3 positive interactions and encounters to neutralize and balance 1 negative. In fact, you ideally want 6 to 1. So how do you think your call center guy feels when he gets knocked one brutal call by a monster like me? Now he gets another one and another one. How long before he goes home and says, hey man, I'm done, out. You need at least 6, 7 positive encounters, interactions to 1 negative just to stay reasonably okay. If you're going to 10, 11, 12, you're smoking your socks and you're in la la land. But anything below 4 or 3, you're only just going to float and survive. We need that love and that connection and that certainty. These are needs that drive us. It's not that you can say, I don't need this. These are core biological, hardwired needs we have. This is the work of mindsets, the language that people use in an organization. We work on tribes and tribal languaging. But this is kind of the ratio of the people in your organization. Maybe they'll be a little bit more to the left. But their self-talk is life sucks, generally. Or my life sucks. Or I'm great, or we great, or life's great. But the majority of the people in your environment are probably down that stage 2. My life sucks. But the kind of turnovers you're talking about and staff turnover, I can't think of any other mental language that they would have there. Also, we were speaking about influence. We do social network analysis. So you might be the manager, but you've got no impact. You have no respect or credibility. You need to find who the social leaders are in your system and use them to persuade, to inform, to manage, to get messages out. And if you know who those people are in the organization that are natural leaders, they are not given title or position, but they are the natural leaders. If they're positive, you're fortunate. If they're negative, they can trash your whole team. I did work with Liberty. The woman went out, came back after having a baby. She tried to force her control onto the people. The 4 managers, they said, we're not having this, thank you. As hard as she pushed, they pushed back. Because for every action there's an equal and opposite. Gotcha. This young man, let's go. Put your hand up, please. Why are you pushing? In 100 times, no one has ever not pushed. It's human nature. Understand the dynamic. If you're going to manage and get the best out of the mindsets of your people, you need to be more conscious, you need to be more aware, you need to care more. So what are 3 things that you could do today to do differently to how you impact on your performance and your staff? How could you make your workplace so amazing that people from around the world pay to come and see you? What could you do that people knocking on your door to come and work for you? Somebody said it costs 70,000 rand to replace an agent. Is that about the kind of vague number? If you keep on changing staff at 10% a month, within a year, most of your guys are gone. Where relationships are important, think about this. If I phoned into Discovery, if I always connected with the same person and there was a relationship, I had a thing. APSA gave up my email address. They gave out confidential information without my permission. So I'm pissed off. So I tried to phone the call center. Guess what? So I phoned the chairman's line, and there was a lady Basani who helped me about 3 years ago. Same lady. She performed amazingly the first time. As she said, as I heard her voice, she said, "Hi, Basani here." I said, "Oh, Basani, it's Tony." "Oh, hi, Tony, how are you doing?" All my energy went because I knew that I was going to get service. A huge amount of static goes because there's a relationship now. There's credibility and there's trust. And she's performed for me before, and so there's a strong likelihood that ABSA will keep me as a client, but only because of her. If you are going to get the best out of your people, do not praise intelligence, talent, or ability from yourself, for your children, because they will then have to protect that to be safe. Protect that to be significant. Praise effort. Praise hard work. Praise process. Otherwise, they will get to the point where they are scared to make a mistake. Who's scared to make a mistake in their workplace? Yeah. What's it like being in a relationship where you're not too sure where the lines are? What happens? You just shut down. This is a screenshot of a dashboard I create when I go into an organization and we do assessments. But the left-hand side is the resilience factor. This left one here, this tall thing, that tells me how much, on the top thing, that tells me how much baggage they've got from the past. And look at the empathy, empathy is 0. So this person is so numb that to put them in a call center in a situation where empathy is important would be an absolute, complete mistake. There's no trust in the organization, his resilience, his AQ is very low, there's drag in the team environment, there's no motivation, there's huge drag. You know, he's got a big mask, he's got an incredible mask. And so trust is not even a viable thing in certain areas of the leadership and with management. The moment you have these kind of things, people are talking, people are impacting, people are affected. Energy flows and moves around a system. We're not robots. We are warm, living, blooded people. We need something to transform how we think, feel, and act. And to that end, I created Formula One. And for you guys, if you come and visit me, I'm giving you a 70% discount of my normal fee to create bulletproof people. For you, if you want to test it, come see me at the end there. I'll give you some information about it. Also, if you give me your email address, I'll give you a copy of my book. It took me 30 years to write a book. Because when I was 24, I was told by Wendy Evans, write the book, go to America, they'll love you. And I said, yes, yes, yes. What did I do? One day, I would have been sitting right in the front, and I didn't get up to get the book like a proactive man at the back did. And so here's my challenge. Come and get the copy of the book, because it's about mindset and real success. When you die, money's not going to be the issue. How much love? How much wisdom? How much legacy are you living? Are you bringing value that's important to humanity? And this is Tom Peters who's saying, the simple act of paying this positive attention, make people feel good. Bring out the best. Employ people right. Don't employ the wrong person in the position because you're short. No, Zappos, they've got this employment thing. They choose the right people with the right intelligence. Now, Howard Gardner talks about different intelligences. Improve the way you select and get people into the system and give them attention. If you haven't got it, you can't give it. So make sure that your own bank is full. If you don't have your own self-love, you can't give love. And when I do my workshops, I was told, I was at an auditor's company, and the lady said, don't use that word. I said, what word? She said, that 4-letter word. And she said, that 4-letter word. And I thought, I haven't sworn. She said, love. I said, sorry? She said, if you use the word love, you will lose all credibility with my directors. And so I interviewed each one of them for half an hour before the workshop, because I do all my pre-assessment testing and everything. And I started the workshop to say, you gentlemen and ladies, as accountants, are probably the most intelligent people that I meet with IQ. But you are baboons and stupid with EQ. What? And at the very end of the workshop, the guy came and said, the big boss, he said, you're right, we lost our soul. He says, all that matters for us is a number. And he said, that's the problem. We've been chasing something that has no real long-term meaning or value to humanity. We don't need more money. I wrote it yesterday on my blog. There's so much positive saying, but so little positive doing. We took all the money that we use for fighting and corruption and the BS that we do for separation and division, and we put that and we united together and we worked together. All those billions and trillions of dollars and rands and stuff, the hundreds. We could transform our country, we could have education, and we could have everything we all ever need. But we have to get away from this competition, from just me, to be building a we. So that's my challenge for you is, how do you create an environment in a workplace where people love to come to work, where you love to come to work? How do you build a place where people wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to work, I'm excited? Where you build value and respect and appreciation and joy. When I went to America and I did my initiation program, we do a visualization and you go across the water and you come back with, what does the world need? And here's what I think the world needs. And this is my mission, my vision, my destiny statement. As a man amongst men, I co-create a world of more integrity, freedom, love, abundance, peace and joy. That's what I think we need in the world. More integrity, freedom, love, abundance, peace and joy. And I do that with coaching, courses, workshops and training, and support for those who are ready. I thank you for your time. I thank you for being ready for the message. I urge you to take all your power, all your vision, and go and change somebody's life. Ariel, come stand with me quickly. So you can do this. Ariel, look them in the eyes. Do the eyes on the window too there? Touch them appropriately. Ariel, I respect, appreciate, value, and embrace you for something specific. For the attention, because you've been paying really, really good attention and you smiled and made me feel so good. Thank you. Bless you. Thank you. And so give them a rave. Give each person a rave with a card. Thank you very, very much. So thank you very much. Bless you all. Thank you.